Today we're going to tackle some word problems, which I know are everybody's favorite. Wrong, right? Not. So today, get out your notes, write down today's date, and then write down your I can sentence. I can decide to multiply or divide to solve a situation. That's what word problems are. They're just real world situations, and we're trying to help you make good decisions on how to solve them. So we've been learning multiplying and dividing fractions. So that's the skills that we're going to try to use in these situations, in these word problems. Okay, I have the first one in front of you. You don't have to write it down in your notes, but go ahead and write down example number 1 so we can keep our notes nice and organized. A paper published in a medical journal reported that about 11 out of 25 girls aged 16 to 17 do not exercise at all. The entire study consisted of about 2,500 girls. About how many girls did not exercise? So let's look at the information we have here. We have 11 out of 25 girls do not exercise at all. So the entire study consists of about 2,500 girls. So about how many did not exercise? 2,500 girls. So we want to decide if we're using multiplying or dividing to solve this problem. 11 out of 25 girls. So that's the fraction of 2,500. So we're going to go ahead and multiply to find the answer here. Now our numbers are going to get big, and that's okay. So we're going to do 11 over 25. Remember that word of means to multiply. So we have 11 over 25 times, and now remember, to make a whole number a fraction, you just put a 1 under it. Kind of like Beyonce, put a ring on it, put a 1 under it. I know, it's nerdy. It's okay. You'll survive. So multiply the bottom. 25 times 1 is 25. Multiply straight across the top, and I am going to cheat and use my calculator, which is right here. And we had 11 times 2,500, which equals 27,500. 27,500. Now we have to simplify this. Remember, I was teaching you that your fraction bar is going to become many, many different things. So in this case, your fraction bar could also be thought of as a division sign. So our 27,500 over 25 could also be viewed as 27,500 divided by 25. And back to my cheating again. I'm going to go back to my calculator, and I'm going to take that number and, like we said, divide it by 25, 1,100. So when we get our final answer here, 1,000, what did I say, 100? 1,100, yep, 1,100. So since we have a word problem, our answer has to have some words with it. And the original question was about how many girls did not exercise. Well, 1,100 girls did not exercise. Man, if that's how many girls, I wonder how many boys. Because girls, you know these boys. Okay, so those numbers got pretty big. Let's look at another example. In your notes, we're going to call this example number 2. And back there with example number 1, I would never give you numbers like this on a test, so don't worry about it. If you practice your music for 2/3 of an hour every day, how much time will you spend practicing in a week? If you practice your music for 2/3 of an hour every day, how much time will you spend practicing in a week? So think of what's happening here. A week is 7 days. We're just going to go normal week, 7 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And every day you're doing 2/3 of an hour. Now, you could sit here and add all these together, but that would be silly. If we're making more of something, if we're doing 2/3 of an hour over and over and over again, it'd be much more simple to just multiply. So we're going to do 2/3 of an hour times 7. Problem though, do you see the no-no? Do you see it? Right here. This is a no-no. You can't do a fraction times a whole number. So we want a fraction times a fraction. All right, so let's go down here. Our 2/3 is a fraction. It's okay. But our 7 we need to make into a fraction. Do you remember how to do that? Put a 1 under it. Beyonce, put a ring on it. Put a 1 under it. And now we can just multiply straight across. So 2 times 7, which is 14. And 3 times 1, which is 3. And we can simplify this. I mean, well, we can't simplify it, but it is Stewie, you know, the whole big head, little body thing. We can go ahead and make it into a mixed number, so this means more. Because if I said 14/3 hours, for most people, that wouldn't mean anything. So let's go ahead and turn it into a mixed number. So how many 3s can we get out of 14? Well, I know that 3 times 4 is 12. Oops. So I can get 4 whole 3s out of there. And if I do that, 3 times 4 is 12. So I'm taking away 12 little pieces from 14. And if I take away 12 little pieces from 14, 14 minus 12 is 2. We have 2 little pieces left. And in this problem, our pieces are thirds. So my final answer is 4 2/3. But it's a word problem, so we have to put some words with it. The question was, how much time will you spend practicing in a week? 4 2/3 hours. With it, if you think about it, that sounds like a time we can understand. How many hours? 4 hours, and then 2/3 of another hour. So almost another hour. Okay? All right, next one. If each serving of Cracklin' Oat Bran, the best cereal ever, was 3/4 of a cup, and there are 3 3/3 cups in the box, how many servings are there? Mr. Cosma made this problem. Yuck, oh, boring cereal. I don't even want to think about this cereal. I'm going to change it. Crackling Oat Bran. That's like for old people. Best cereal ever. You ready for it? Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Booyah. Okay. If each serving of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, the best year ever, totally, was 3/4 of a cup, and there are 3 3/3 cups in the box, how many servings are there? Okay, so let's think about what's happening here. We have our box of cereal. Here it is. You know, the best cereal ever, the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And we are going to Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Take that, Mr. Ozma. And in this box is 3 3/3 cups total. Okay. And we are going to take out servings. And a serving is 3/4 of a cup. So in the bowl of cereal is going to be 3/4 of a cup. So we could sit here and, subtract and over and over and over and over again until there's nothing of the 3 3/3 left. But that would take forever. So here's what we're going to do instead to make this way easier. Clear the screen here. We're going to take our whole box, which is 3 1/3 cup, and we are going to split it up into serving sizes of 3 1/4 cup. Now, when we're splitting something up, are we multiplying it or are we dividing it? Well, the word split should tell you to divide. So that's what we're doing. We're dividing. Excuse me. Do you see the no-no? There's a no-no here. Here it is. No. You're not allowed to have a mixed number and a fraction. We want a fraction divided by a fraction. 3/4 is fine. We can leave it. But 3 3/3 is not. So we have to change it. Remember, big bottom. Big number times the bottom number. 3 times 3 is 9. Plus the top number, 9 plus 1 is 10. So instead of 3 1/3, we now have 10/3. Okay, so we're dividing with fractions, which we actually are never allowed to do. So we have to do keep, change, flip. Keep the first fraction the same, 10/3. Change your division to multiplying, and flip the second fraction upside down. Now, I'm going to pause here, okay? Don't pause the video. I'm going to pause in the example, okay? I'm seeing a lot of people make this mistake. A lot of people want to skip this step completely, and they try to go straight from 3 3/3 and do the changing it into an improper fraction and the keep, change, flip all at the same time. But the problem is when they try to do that, you're making little mistakes here and there. A lot of people are forgetting to flip the second fraction, which is a big mistake. So please take the extra time, write the problem down, change it to an improper fraction or to a fraction divided by fraction, and then separately drop down and then do your keep, change, flip. Okay, please don't shortcut those. Until you're masters on this, which won't happen anytime in 6th grade, you need to be writing down each step separately so your brain can keep it organized one little piece at a time. Okay, back to our problem. Now, we get to multiply straight across since we have multiplication. 3 times 3 is 9. 10 times 4 is 40. So here we go. We have Stuart down there. Stewie, big head, little body. Our top's bigger than our bottom. It's not allowed. So we have to ask ourselves, how many times can I get a 9 out of 40? Well, I know 9 times 4 is 36. So I can get 4 whole 9s out of there, which means I'm taking away 36 little pieces. And to figure out what my side fraction is, 40 minus 36 is 4, and my bottom is still 9. So the final answer is 4 4/9. Well, we have a word problem, so we have to put a word with this. 4 4/9. How many servings are there? There are 4 4/9 servings. So 4 whole servings, and then 4/9 are about a half of another serving. All right, last one. Promise. You do this one on your own. Let's see. We're going to say that Jerry, I like that name, Jerry, spent 1 1/4 hour doing their math homework last night. This is example 4. Oh, they spent 1 1/4 hours doing their math homework. Oh, Lord. They must have kept their weekly review until Thursday night to do. They spent 1/4 of the time studying multiplication facts because basic math facts are essential in 6th grade. It's true. How long did they spend studying multiplication facts? So I want you to go ahead and pause the video, solve this on your own, and then when you're done, hit play and see if you got it right. Okay, here we go. We are studying for a total of 1 1/4 hour. And 1/4 of that time, 1/4 of that time was spent on multiplication facts. So we had to figure out what 1/4 of 1 1/4 is, because that's how much time we spent studying multiplication facts, and that is what's being asked. Now remember, that word of means to multiply, so we're going to be multiplying here. Okay, do you see the no-no? I see the no-no. No-no. we want to have a fraction times a fraction. And 1/4 is fine, but 1 1/4 is not. So, big bottom, big times bottom. 1 times 4 is 4, plus the top one, 1 is 5. So we have 5/4. 5/4. Okay, now we can multiply straight across. 1 times 5 is 5. 4 times 4 is 16. Can we simplify 5 over 16? Is there something we can divide both these by? Nope, it's already simplified. So our answer is 5/16, but it's a word problem, so it needs a word with it. How long did they spend studying multiplication facts? Well, we're talking hours, so 5/16